Hello everyone, in this video I'll be translating and summarizing the latest Urdu broadcast by Moeed Pirzada to make it accessible for our English-speaking audience. Let's go through the key developments and insights in Moeed Pirzada's words. Near Sialkot, in the town of Sambrial, a very important provincial by-election in PP 52 is about to begin in just a few hours. This election is being seen as a significant indicator for the politics of Punjab and Pakistan at large. I will provide you with an analysis of why this is so, but there are many other major developments happening around the world. Inside Pakistan itself, the Prime Minister of Pakistan, popularly referred to as Form 47 Prime Minister after the Indo-Pak tension, Mr. Shahbaz Sharif, gave a speech at Staff College, Quetta. It is quite rare for him to be invited there, but he addressed the audience just a day after Pakistan's Army Chief, General Asim Munir, had also spoken there. In his speech, General Munir said that India is intensifying proxy conflict and terrorism in Balochistan. However, the more important global development is taking place in Singapore, where the US Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth took a very hardline stance against China at the Shangri-La dialogue, stating that China wants to impose war on Asia and we must be prepared. But first, a reminder. If you haven't yet joined this YouTube channel, please subscribe and turn on all notifications. Also, I've created a WhatsApp channel, which nearly 28,000 people have joined. The link is in my pinned tweet in the description, and I tweet it regularly. Join it because it gives us a direct connection between this YouTube channel and you. Now, before we get to the politics of Sambrial or what Shahbaz Sharif said in Quetta, it's essential to understand what Pete Hegseth said in Singapore about China and the comments on India-US cooperation. These comments are crucial to understand the China-Pakistan-India-America equation. In the UK, there are three major think tanks, but the most influential one is the International Institute for Strategic Studies, also known as Arundel House, located right near Temple Tube Station in London. This think tank is not just important for the UK, but perhaps the most influential in the world due to its backing by major American and European corporations and governments, and heavy support from Middle Eastern nations like Qatar, Bahrain, UAE and Saudi Arabia. The Shangri-La dialogue, being held under its aegis in Singapore, carries enormous importance. A day before the US Defense Secretary's remarks, Pakistan's Chairman Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Sahir Shamshad Mirza, also gave an interview to Reuters. He described the India-Pakistan situation objectively, but stressed that Pakistan is an agrarian economy, and any attempt by India to cut off water under the Indus Water Treaty lowers the threshold for war in the region. In the same forum, India's Chief of Defence Staff, General Anil Chauhan, also spoke and released a video statement. Back to Pete Hegseth. He stated very clearly that China is a threat to the world and to Asia, heavily investing in war capabilities and preparing to impose conflict on Asia. While he didn't mention India-Pakistan directly, his comments weren't Taiwan-specific, as many assume. He said the entire region is under threat because of China. China didn't send a high-level delegation to the dialogue, only a junior officer, not at the ministerial or cabinet level. China accused the US of creating war hysteria. The US, however, has very close strategic ties across the region, not just through Quad, US, Australia, Japan, India, but also with Vietnam, Thailand, Singapore, and many smaller nations. America is deeply entrenched in China's own backyard, trying to prevent China from evolving from a regional to a global power. In that context, the four-day conflict between India and Pakistan is also being analysed differently. According to Indian analysts at the dialogue, this isn't just a conflict between two South Asian nuclear states, but a trilateral nuclear conflict involving China and its ally Pakistan on one side and India on the other. Pete Hegseth also emphasised strengthening the Quad alliance, multinational force presence, and creating an integrated industrial base for logistics and communication. He also expressed intent to improve defence cooperation with India. However, many in India are suspicious of US intentions. While the US wants India to take an aggressive stance against China, India feels that the West did not support them during the post-Pulwama conflict with Pakistan. So, US-India relations are currently under scrutiny, and Washington is trying to repair trust. India is developing a multi-role light combat aircraft and is not solely relying on American tech for it. They are open to global tendering. Pete Hegseth's position on China marks a clear declaration of warlike posture. This wasn't started under Trump, it was continued and intensified under the Biden administration. In recent months, there's been a sharp crackdown on Chinese students, especially those studying technology-related physical sciences in US universities. Once numbering over 400,000, their numbers have drastically declined. The strategic thinking behind this is not just anger, but a calculated move. American analysts believe China never transitioned into a liberal democracy, despite WTO inclusion and capitalism. Instead, the Chinese Communist Party retained power, wealth and technology transfer without liberalizing. There's also a belief that China is not inherently creative. Rather, it excels in disciplined improvisation and rapid implementation, copying American tech through students and academic networks. Many believe Chinese students are funded by the CCP. That's why these ties are being severed. The outcome is yet to be seen, but in the past 24 hours, you've seen what looks like a declaration of war against China. Now talking about India's CDS, or Chief of Defence Staff General Anil Chauhan, whom General Sahir Shamshad from Pakistan mentioned a day before, Anil Chauhan can be considered equivalent to Sahir Shamshad. In Pakistan, there is the Office of the Chairman Joint Chiefs of Staff, and in India, the Office of the CDS. It is possible that the Indian CDS has greater coordinating ability. When the Chairman Joint Chiefs of Staff Office was established in Pakistan by Zulfikar Ali Bhutto in the 1970s, the aim was to ensure parity among the three service branches, the Army, Air Force and Navy. Similarly, a new command was created for nuclear forces, and the coordinating officer over all these branches would be the Chairman Joint Chiefs of Staff. This basic concept was borrowed from the United States, where, as I've explained to you many times in various talks, there are 11 combatant commands, including the well-known CENTCOM, Central Command, Pacific Command, Africa Command, Europe Command, Space Command, Nuclear Command, and South America Command. However, none of these commands have a single chief. These commands do not function collectively, and there is no single army chief as such. Instead, there is one chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff who coordinates the activities of all these commands. All 11 commands are regional commands and are directly accountable to the American president. Pakistan also tried to adopt this concept. That is why Pakistan has a chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. However, after repeated impositions of martial law, including under General Zia, the balance of this structure was disrupted. In India, the Office of the Chief of Defence Staff was created a few years ago. General Anil Chauhan currently holds that office. Like General Sahir Shamshad Mirza, Anil Chauhan has handled matters in a very balanced, objective and professional way. In an interview, Anil Chauhan was asked whether India had lost any aircraft on the morning of May 7th. He said yes, India had lost planes. When asked how many, he said the number doesn't matter, but yes, we lost planes. The key point, according to General Anil Chauhan, was that India reviewed its tactical mistakes, learned from them, and within 2 days the Indian Air Force was back in operation with full strength. They targeted several sites inside Pakistan, which is true. He mentioned targeting 3 bases, including Base 11, with intense strikes. He emphasized that after assessing their mistakes, India did not suffer any further aerial combat losses. This tactical learning is being closely observed by many military officers in Pakistan. It raises the question, what were those tactical mistakes India corrected? Did they adjust their engagement distance, thinking they were too close? Did they improve their radar capabilities? Like Sahir Shamshad Mirza, General Anil Chauhan also stated there was no threat of nuclear war. The fears in the West are merely speculative. Multiple thresholds exist between nuclear engagement and regular conflict. India was escalating matters in a completely professional way. Unlike Zahir Shamshad Mirza, who said India-Pakistan contact was limited to the level of Director General of Military Operations, Anil Chauhan strongly asserted that professional military contact was ongoing throughout the four-day conflict. There was never a point when military communication between India and Pakistan was cut off. One crucial thing to understand is the difference in national psyche. Indians generally have a larger ego than Pakistanis. Pakistanis don't consider themselves a major global power. Even if a child insults them, they still see themselves as a regional power. Indians, on the other hand, see themselves as a major world power and don't like being portrayed as emotional or reactionary. For example, when Donald Trump said they've been fighting for 1,000 to 1,500 years, Indians disliked the implication. Now, coming to the broader geopolitical dialogue, India, Pakistan, the US and China, we need to keep in mind that the US wants India on its side because the strategic interest of the West is to counter China. This was evident at the Shangri-La dialogue. So, going forward, India will likely play hardball, claiming the West didn't support them when it mattered. Now returning to Quetta, Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif recently spoke at Staff College, where Field Marshal General Asim Munir had spoken the day before. Munir issued a stern warning, accusing India of hydro-terrorism, calling it unacceptable. Shahbaz Sharif accused India of intensifying proxy conflict and terrorism in Balochistan. His words seem credible, given the recent wave of terrorist attacks in Balochistan. The most disturbing was an attack on a school bus, which the BLA denied. India says it has no involvement. India has never admitted to involvement in Balochistan, but in the past 48 hours alone, nearly 25 to 30 trained gunmen attacked markets and offices in Sariab, near Quetta. The confirmed death toll is unknown, but an additional deputy commissioner was among those killed. In the last 24 hours, another bomb blast in Quetta killed 2 people, according to Pakistani media. Pakistan rarely provides accurate figures, but what's important is that terrorism has been consistently occurring at a level just below a critical threshold. If 14 to 15 such incidents occur in Balochistan in a month, what will Pakistan do? Just condemn them as Indian proxies? Or will there be pressure on Pakistan to retaliate through its assets in Jammu and Kashmir? If Pakistan activates groups like Lashkar-e-Taiba, Hizbul Mujahideen, or the newer Kashmir Resistance Front, then India has the narrative power. India has declared it will respond forcefully. So the implications of such retaliation are dangerous. This presents a serious challenge for Pakistan. If terrorism continues in Balochistan, and Pakistan keeps blaming India, what will Pakistan do next? No editorial analysis has addressed this yet. Now, how will all of this end? In my opinion, the current situation is unsustainable, especially in Azad Kashmir. Just 3 years ago, the political mood in Azad Kashmir was very different. Now there is significantly more bitterness, anger, and a sense of grievance. People feel they've been handled roughly. In the past 72 hours, 2 young Kashmiri men were killed in a police encounter in Bagh. Their pictures are circulating online and debates are happening. Incidents like these didn't used to happen in Azad Kashmir. We don't know the full details, but if India chooses to invest even $100 to $200 million in Azad Kashmir, it can stir up significant political unrest. When political unrest occurs, local law enforcement is forced to crack down harshly, as we've seen in Balochistan. If a similar spiral begins in Azad Kashmir or Gilgit-Baltistan, it will increase the sense of alienation. So what is the solution? The big picture, in my opinion, is that there needs to be a hidden, undeclared, covert dialogue between India and Pakistan, a dialogue the media and the world must not know about. The big picture, in my opinion, is that there needs to be a hidden, undeclared, covert dialogue between India and Pakistan, a dialogue the media and the world must not know about. It should be led by professionals. On Pakistan's side, the National Security Advisor, who is also DG ISI, has full information on what Pakistan and India have done. On India's side, NSA Ajit Doval, Deputy NSA Mr. Kapoor, who was recently in the US, and Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri should sit down together. In this dialogue, Pakistan should provide verifiable proof that it has severed ties with all militant groups in Kashmir. These groups are now orphans. Pakistan could say, "Do what you want with them. We're withdrawing." Likewise, India should also say it is pulling back from supporting BLA and other such groups. Such an understanding could also help resolve the water conflict. This is just my suggestion, and you should certainly discuss it. Now let's shift to domestic politics. The by-election near Sialkot in constituency PP52. Arshad Watu of PMLN had won this seat multiple times, but after his death, a by-election is being held. PMLN has nominated his daughter, Hina Bukhari, who has her own political identity and served as district council head from 2016 to 2020. Opposing her is an independent candidate, Fakhar Nishad Guman, supported by PTI. Technically, this is a PMLN seat, but considering the current political climate in Punjab, it's now PTI's to lose. In recent days, a very vibrant, colourful campaign has taken place. By-elections allow parties to focus their energies intensely. PTI ran an energetic campaign here, with Aliya Hamza's full organisational strength visible. If the Punjab government does not misuse its power or interfere too much, PTI's supported candidate could win by a large margin. But will that happen? That's the big question. Elections, especially by-elections, are seen as indicators of political direction. Can Maryam Nawaz and her government afford to let PTI win here? Even more important is how the military establishment views this. So far, according to media analysis and PTI statements, the political atmosphere for the 2024 by-election seems freer and fairer than previous ones. Sunday will show us the truth. What matters beyond winning or losing is the kind of political mobilization shown. PTI's mobilization is clear. Now the question is, will the proverbial establishment interfere today or let natural results emerge? We'll know in the next 12 hours. That wraps up our translation of Moeed Pirzada's video. I hope this English version helped you understand his message better. Please like, share and subscribe to Awami Lens to help our community grow. Don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of this effort.